The guest entered the world-famous gold and silver pawnshop clutching a weathered wooden crate, its exterior marked with deep scratches and faded paint. As he carefully set it down on the counter, Rick Harrison leaned in, his eyes narrowing with curiosity. The guest, visibly excited, began to explain that what lay inside was no ordinary artifact. It was a shipwrecked bell dating back to 1602. The room fell silent for a moment as the weight of that statement settled in. If authentic, this piece would be an extraordinary historical relic, one that could fetch a substantial sum. Rick, always composed yet eager when faced with something rare, nodded slowly, already envisioning the possibilities. He had handled countless treasures over the years, but a 400-year-old bell from a sunken vessel, that was something entirely different. Without hesitation, he gestured for the guest to open the crate, ready to see if history had indeed been salvaged from the ocean's depths. With careful hands, the guest pried open the wooden crate, revealing a thick layer of protective padding wrapped around the object within. As he peeled away the covering, the dull gleam of aged bronze emerged, encrusted with layers of salt and marine residue. The bell itself was impressive. Standing roughly 2 feet tall, its surface bore intricate engravings that had been partially worn away by centuries beneath the sea. Despite its age, the craftsmanship remained evident, with ornate detailing along the rim and faint inscriptions hinting at its origins. Rick leaned in closer, running his fingers lightly over the rough texture, feeling the weight of history in his hands. His expression shifted from intrigue to awe as he took in the sheer magnitude of what lay before him. This was no ordinary antique. It was a tangible link to the past, a survivor of time and tide. Rick exhaled sharply, shaking his head in disbelief. "This is incredible," he murmured, already mentally calculating its potential value. If verified, this bell could be worth far more than either of them had anticipated. Rick knew that before any offer could be made, the bell's authenticity had to be confirmed. With such a significant historical artifact, even the smallest detail could determine whether it was genuine or an elaborate replica. He immediately reached out to a trusted expert in maritime archaeology, someone who had helped authenticate numerous shipwreck relics in the past. Within hours, the specialist arrived at the pawnshop, bringing with him a small toolkit and a keen eye for historical accuracy. The expert carefully examined the bell, noting the style of the engravings, the composition of the metal, and the presence of marine incrustation. He explained that while some replicas mimicked the appearance of aged artifacts, true shipwreck relics often carried unique signs of prolonged submersion, patterns of corrosion, mineral deposits, and even microscopic marine life embedded in the surface. After a thorough inspection, the expert turned to Rick and the guest, nodding solemnly. "Everything checks out," he confirmed. "This bell is the real thing." Rick let out a low whistle, clearly impressed. The confirmation only heightened his excitement, reinforcing just how valuable and historically significant this find truly was. With the bell's authenticity confirmed, Rick knew they were dealing with something extraordinary, not just a collectible, but a tangible piece of history. In the world of antiquities, rarity played a crucial role in determining value, and few items rivaled the scarcity of a 17th-century shipwreck bell. Such artifacts were not only exceptionally rare, but also highly sought after by museums, private collectors, and historical institutions willing to pay top dollar for a chance to own a piece of maritime history. Rick considered several factors that contributed to the bell's immense worth: its age, its provenance, and the fact that it had survived centuries underwater without sustaining major damage. Additionally, its potential connection to a specific shipwreck or historical event could significantly increase its appeal and market value. Rick's mind raced with possibilities. He envisioned auction houses bidding aggressively, historians clamoring for access, and collectors eager to display such a prestigious item. Even conservative estimates placed the bell well into 6 figures, and if further research uncovered a direct link to a documented wreck, its value could skyrocket even higher. As he turned to the guest, Rick knew there was no hesitation. He was prepared to make an offer that reflected the bell's true significance. Rick straightened up, locking eyes with the guest as he prepared to make his offer. There was no doubt in his mind. The bell was a once-in-a-lifetime find, and he wasn't about to let it slip through his fingers. Taking a deep breath, he named a figure that sent a ripple of surprise through the shop. $150,000, he declared, his voice steady and confident. The guest's eyes widened, clearly taken aback by the generous amount. For a moment, silence filled the space as the weight of Rick's words settled in. Then, a slow grin spread across the guest's face. He hadn't expected such a high valuation, especially considering the uncertainty surrounding the bell's origins and condition. But Rick saw beyond the rust and salt incrustation. He saw a priceless artifact with immense historical and financial value. Nodding appreciatively, the guest extended his hand. "You've got yourself a deal," he said, shaking Rick's hand firmly. The transaction was sealed, and with it, another remarkable chapter was added to the long list of unforgettable finds at the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop. As the deal was finalized, Rick couldn't help but reflect on the broader implications of acquiring such a historic artifact. While the monetary value was staggering, the true significance of the bell extended far beyond its price tag. It was a tangible connection to the past, a relic from an era when seafaring explorers braved uncharted waters, shaping the course of history. Rick understood that objects like this held an educational purpose, offering future generations a glimpse into the maritime traditions and technological advancements of the early 17th century. He envisioned the bell being displayed in a museum or curated exhibit, where historians, students, and enthusiasts alike could study its craftsmanship and learn about the shipwreck's story. By preserving and showcasing such artifacts, Rick played a vital role in ensuring that pieces of history weren't lost to time, but instead celebrated and studied. As he carefully packaged the bell for transport, he felt a deep sense of pride. This wasn't just another sale, it was a contribution to the preservation of human heritage. As the guest left the shop with a satisfied smile and a check in hand, Rick stood in quiet contemplation, knowing he had just secured something truly irreplaceable. The bell was more than just a valuable acquisition. It was a testament to human exploration, endurance, and the mysteries that still lie beneath the ocean's surface. Rick had spent years navigating the world of rare artifacts, but moments like these reminded him why he loved what he did. Every item that passed through the doors of the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop carried a story, and this particular treasure told one that spanned centuries. With the bell safely in his possession, Rick knew it would soon find a new home where it could be appreciated for both its historical significance and its remarkable journey from the depths of the sea to the heart of Las Vegas.